Hello everyone, Phoenix Knight here. Welcome to the channel, and welcome to a new playthrough on the channel. After we played through Call of Cthulhu Alone Against the Flames last week, we're going to step back into another universe that we visited last year. This week we're going to step back into the Zombicide universe as we play Zombicide Green Horde. In this game we're playing killing zombies similar to when we played Black Plague back in October. This time we have a couple of different unique mechanics, and we'll get more into those as we get into the scenario. With that, let's go ahead and start by meeting our heroes. Here's our first hero, Megan. Here's a look at her mini. Once it focuses, she's doing everything with red. So red base, red pegs, red dice. We'll move her over to the board, and we'll see where she's landing when we get our starting space. So Megan, a quick look at her card. As you might recall, there's an extra chest slot that we could potentially use. We can put the speed there instead of an armor. Her first active ability is double casting, so when she has a spell that has a non-combat option, she can use that twice, basically. And her starting spell will have a non-combat option, but we'll get into that in a minute. I'll talk more about the extra abilities as we get into them, but as we gain experience from killing the zombies, we'll eventually level up along the track here at the bottom of the dashboard, and the level indicates the color of the level indicates how strong the character is, but also how dangerous our spawns could be. So we do need to be very careful of that. Anyway, we'll take a look at Megan's starting spell, Telekinetic Blast. So it's starting equipment. As an action, she can open a door within range and within line of sight. So the range on that will be 0 to 1. And then as far as the combat option, again 0 to 1 on the range, she'll roll 1 die, hits on a 4+, and does 1 damage. But the problem is both the combat and the door opening option, which is the enchantment action, will make noise. So when we make noise, we'll have to put one of these noise tokens out on the board. Yes, I've got these special plastic tokens from this. I didn't kickstart it. I was able to find plastic tokens in retail later. But that's what we'll be putting out. The noise tokens can influence where zombies might end up moving when we move them when we activate them during the zombie phase. So we do need to be very careful of that. But anyway, that will do it for Megan. Now let's go meet our second hero. Here's our second hero, Rolf. He'll be doing everything in blue, so we've got the blue standee, blue dice, blue pegs. So there's him focusing. We'll move him over to the board as well. Then his first special ability is Bloodlust Melee. So what that means is he can charge up to 2 spaces toward a zombie, and then he gains a free melee action that he can use. His chest slot can hold a great axe instead, and then we have the Norse sword for starting equipment, so we'll focus in on this real quick. It's a door knocker. We need a roll of 4 or greater to open the door, but it does make noise. Gains +2 dice if the Norse shield is also equipped, so we're going to be sending him searching right away. Obviously, it's a melee weapon. Hits on a roll 1 die, hits on a 4+, does 2 damage, but unlike the Telekinetic Blast, it doesn't make noise. So we do need to so we can use that to hopefully kill a little more silently. And then there are icons up here. There was one on the Telekinetic Blast. I'll bring that back in shot for a second, just to mention this. So if that icon is present, that means we can dual wield it. And if we dual wield 2 of the same card, we get both dice on it, essentially. We get both copies of it. So we'll get to roll an extra die, all that fun stuff. But anyway, that will do it for Rolf. Now let's go meet our third hero. Here's our third hero, Selly. We'll focus on her mini first. There we are, and she'll be doing everything in purple today. So move her over to the board. Her special ability is Jump, where once per round we can spend an action to move 2 spaces as long as we have line of sight to the space. All the penalties, let me double check this. Movement related skills don't apply, but movement penalties do apply. And we ignore in the intervening zone. So I'll talk more about that when we move over to the map. But anyway, Selly starts, her chest slot may potentially hold a curved dagger, but we have a short sword to look at as well. So it's basically the Norse sword with the ability to dual wield and only does 1 damage on attack. So nothing real special there. But anyway, that will do it for Selly. Now let's move over and meet our last hero. And here's our last survivor, Johannes. Focusing on his mini, he's doing everything with green today. I'll pull that out of the way. Right, his chest slot can hold a crossbow instead of armor, and his special ability is transmutation. So he can use this skill as often as he likes during each of his turns. He can spend an action and discard an equipment card from his inventory to draw a new equipment card. And you can reorganize your inventory for free. Normally that would cost you an action. It's not a search action though, so we can still search if we need to. And we resolve ambush cards, which basically, cards as usual. So we do need to keep an eye on that. Then we have his spiked bow. As starting equipment, so we can't dual wield this because it's a bow. And it doesn't make noise when we attack, plus we can't open doors with it. So from melee, we hit from 0, roll 1 die, 4+, hit on a 4+, and do 1 damage. Then the ranged option is just 0 to 1, all the other same stats. So that's all of our survivors. Now let's move over and take a quick look at the map. Alright, here's our first look at the map for today's scenario. Our heroes are starting up here. We've got several doors here. Once again, the doors are from Zombicide and Vader. I just wanted something that would make the board pop a little bit more. Then we've got the spawn zones up here. We've got the green zone over here, red zone over here, blue zone up here. One of the unique things for Green Horde is the Trebuchet. Let's take a quick look at how we use that. So there's a reference card for that. Now we've got the Trebuchet. So it's a siege engine. We can target zone at 2+ or the Horde. No line of sight required. Accuracy is 3+ if any survivor has a line of sight to the target zone. 3 actions to fire or move 1 zone. Then we've got 3 different attacks that don't make noise. So first we've got a scatter shot. So from 2+. Roll 6 dice, hit on a 4+, but only do 1 damage. Grape shot, we also have 2+. Roll 3 dice, hit on a 4+, only do 2 damage. Or a boulder, 2+, roll 1 die, hit on a 4+, and do 3 damage. So that's how we'll use the Trebuchet. Then we've got several objectives, which we'll take a look at our first scenario. At the scenario we're playing, we are playing the tutorial today. We're playing the Evil Shrine. Looking for fresh water, we stumbled across a desecrated druidic shrine, now vibrating with dark energies. Zombies are lured to the area like moths to a flame, threatening everyone in the vicinity. We are survivors and zombie hunters. Putting this Necromancer plot to an end is our duty. And our pleasure. Yeah, I admit it. Sorry, Mom. Alright, so there's the map that we just created. Then our objectives for this scenario. Accomplish the objectives in this order to win the game. Prevent the invasion in the vicinity. To do so, destroy all 3 spawn zones, blue, green, and red. Then adventure awaits. Reach the exit with all survivors. Any survivor may escape through this zone at the end of their turn as long as there are no zombies in it. Before we go to the special rules, I'll point out the escape zone is down here where it says exit. So that's where we get out. Then the special rules, as part of setup, which I did that already, put the green objective randomly among the red objectives face down. So looking at the objectives, we have the blue objective out here, and one of these 2 objectives is the green objective, but I won't know which one that is until I get to it. So we'll need to be careful of that. Then necromantic beacons. The blue and green spawn zones are active at the start of the game. The blue spawn zone is removed as soon as the blue objective is taken. The green spawn zone is removed as soon as the green objective is taken. So that spawn zone goes away when that objective is taken. that spawn zone goes away when we find whichever one of these is the green objective. Then destroying the corrupted shrine. Any siege weapon, like the Trebuchet, can be used to target, fire at, and remove the red spawn zone. It is considered last in the targeting priority and is removed with damage 1. So we probably will be using the scatter shot to try to take that out. Especially since we only need 1 damage to get rid of that. But once again, we do have to be sensitive to the targeting priority order when we go to range on that. But anyway, I think that's everything we need to get this scenario started. So we're right here. We'll get ready to move into the first survivors phase of the game, and we'll start off with our first player, Megan. Megan's first action, we're immediately going to make a noise where we're going to use the enchantment on her Telekinetic Blast to open this door into the blue objective, which also means we need to get zombies. So we'll spawn the objective zone first, and since we just started the game, we're in blue, so nothing special here. First off, we have 2 tainted walkers. We also have the special the other special mechanic is we have to set aside an extra zombie of the same type for the Horde. So we get 2 tainted walkers. They are going to be sharp, so I'm going to need to watch out for that. So here are 2 tainted walkers going in here. And we'll get, pardon my arm and shot. We'll get 1 more and I'll put the Horde up here. Then we'll spawn in this room next. Yep, there is a connection. I just put the tainted walkers on top of it. So that room up there. We'll next get another 3 tainted walkers and another Horde. And another one for the Horde. So if we ever draw a card that says Unleash the Horde, the spawn step stops and the Horde spawns in that space instead. So there was 3 more tainted walkers. And we get 1 more for the Horde. Then we'll spawn in here. Six orc walkers and assemble the Horde. So we put 1 more out for the... So what is that? 6 orc walkers? Yikes. Right. 1, 2, 3. 2, 4, 5. I need 6 for the zone. There are the 6 walkers. And 1 more for the Horde. And then our last zone down here, we will spawn another 8 tainted... Oh, wait. Hold the phone. I've been spawning from the top. Okay, back up. I knew something was way wrong. Okay. So 1 walker, but we do taint the Horde on that first zone. Another 1 walker, still 1 for the Horde. Good thing I threw the BS flag. This arguably might be worse because we get 2 runners right away. Problem is the runners have 2 activations. Those are fatties. These are runners. So we get 2 runners, but we put another 1, so all of these walkers come off the board. We'll probably need them at some point, but not now. So there are orc runners, and we get 1 for the Horde. We don't need that walker. And the last one is another single walker, but we put another one in the Horde. So the Horde is already pretty sizable. Good thing I threw the BS flag at that. I knew that didn't pass the smell test. I was like, wait a second, that's way too much, way too early. Helps if I read the card from the bottom up for blue instead of from the top for red. Otherwise, that would have been a very short video. But anyway, now that that's out of the way, action 2 for Megan will be to move down. Where did the... Oh, I think I put the walker... Is that second one 1 or 2? That second one was another 1. Okay, now that I got all that straight... I need to go look something up, so I will be right back, because that will impact my turn. Sorry about that, I had to refresh my memory on how the Tainted Walkers worked. Those things are going to be very problematic. I need to take them out as fast as I can. So action 3, Megan is going to try to use the Telekinetic Blast to knock out that Tainted Walker, so we'll bring the Dice Tower in shot. I can probably put it over here for the time being. That is in shot. Yeah, I can put it over there until we start moving in that direction. So I'll go ahead and give this a quick roll. And remember, we need a 4+ to kill that Tainted Walker. They only take 1 damage, but they do 2, so we need to take them out ASAP. That is a 4, so we get to take out the Tainted Walker, and Megan gets her first experience of the scenario. Then similar to what I did in Green and Black Plague, when I played that back in October, I'll tip over the mini just to signal that they've gone already. And that Telekinetic Blast did make another noise. So we move over there. Then we go into Rolf's turn. Action 1, he'll move it down to Megan's zone. Action 2, he'll move in here. And action 3, he's actually going to grab the blue objective for 5 experience and immediately shut off one of our spawn zones. So we'll get that for 5 experience. Oop. 5 experience. There we go. And then the blue spawn zone that was over here is now off the board. So we're able to get that off the board very quickly. Anyway, that will do it for Rolf. Selly is going to, for action 1, she's going to jump 2 spaces. She's going to move, that was her first action. Second action, she's going to move, actually I can kind of have her cover this green spawn zone for a little bit, I think. Action 2, she'll move here. And then action 3, she'll try to open the door. So she needs a 4+ to be able to open the door. That's a 1. She doesn't open the door, but she does make noise trying. Which I actually kind of don't mind that right now. But anyway, there's the noise. Put that there, and then that will do it for Selly. Johannes' turn. I think we'll move 1. We'll give Rolf a little bit of help. So action 1, he'll move in here. Action 2, he'll step... that's going to make him vulnerable. Actually, I think we do have to split damage with those 2 runners. So yeah, we'll move in there. And then action 3, he'll shoot in and try to take out that Tainted Walker. So same with Megan, he needs 1 damage to take them out. Let's get that out. Alright, that's a 4, so he does take the Tainted Walker out, which will give him an experience. There we go. And then that was all 3 of Johannes' actions, so we'll stand everybody back up. And then we'll move into the zombie phase. Alright, so now we're into the zombie phase. The runners move, and then they actually have 2 actions, so they'll hit each of Rolf and Johannes for 1 damage. Which I knew that was going to happen, but I couldn't help. That's part of why I moved Johannes in there, so we could split damage with Rolf. And then the Tainted Walker moves as well. We need to take him out pronto. Fortunately, Rolf will be first player, so hopefully we can start getting some more firepower out. Anyway, next we spawn, so we'll spawn at the green zone first. At the green zone we'll find... oh, a fatty and another one for the Horde. This is going to be a problem. So... so at the rate we're going, when the Horde comes out, it's going to be devastating. So there's the fatty, and then another one for the Horde. And then at the red spawn zone, we have... okay, another two tainted walkers, and another one for the Horde. So we'll get the two tainted walkers that we've taken out, spawn them at the red zone, and then we'll get another tainted walker for the Horde. That Horde is going to be nasty when it comes out. But anyway, now that will do it for the zombie phase. We go into... okay, now we're into the end phase. So the noise tokens come off the board. And then first player will pass over to Rolf. And then Rolf will be our first player as we start a new player phase. Another turn of taking runner... actually, this turn of taking runner attacks would take out both Rolf and Johannes if we can't take either of those runners out. So we need to get the dice tower in shot, and then we need to kill those things ASAP. So action 1 for Rolf is going to be to attack. First one, yep, he hits on a 4+, so he takes out one of these runners for 1 experience. Then we'll run the attack back. We do need to be careful, though, because we are going to push into yellow if Rolf hits. Which he does not there. And then action 3, he'll run it back. Okay, he doesn't hit there. So... in a way, I'm glad that we didn't push into yellow, but we're still going to have problems if Johannes can't do his thing. So let's see what he does next. Action 1, he's going to attack with melee. With melee on the runner in his space. He will take out the runner. In a way, I'm kind of happy that he's the one who took that out rather than Rolf, because that would have pushed us into yellow right away. Action 2, he'll run the attack. He'll attack the tainted walker. And we'll miss. Action 3, he'll run the attack back on the tainted walker. And he will take out the tainted walker. So that'll give him an experience as well. That will do it for Johannes. Selly, who's down here, her base is hiding, but she is right there on this door right here. Action 1, she'll try again to open the door. Once again, she needs a roll of a 4+. She rolls a 5, so she does make noise, but she does open the door. So we put a noise token there, open the door, and then we need to spawn this room. So first off, we'll spawn the door where she opened it. We will spawn. Nothing in sight, thank God. And then she'll spawn an extra activation for nothing. So we actually got away with one there. In fact, that'll let us move in for action 2, and then action 3 will have our first search action of the game, so Selly will draw. A great axe. Ooh. This is obviously not a dual wield weapon. melee weapon. She rolls 4 dice, hits on a 5+, and does 2 damage. That is going to be very helpful. And I just need to refresh my memory on something. Okay, that is an action. But she does get to rearrange her inventory for free, so I'll move the short sword into her backpack, and we'll equip her with the great axe. I might move that over to Rolf. I haven't decided yet, but we just need more firepower right now. And then Megan is our last player, so she'll move in for action 1. She'll search as well for action 2. Then Megan will find a curved dagger. 0, 1 die. It's a melee weapon. Roll 1 die, hit on a 4+, and does 1 damage. I'm actually going to reorganize the inventory for free. I actually have to reorganize the inventory for free. Yeah, we'll give that to... We'll actually give that to Rolf, because that'll be better for him, because that'll add a die to his Norse sword. And then action 3, he'll move out. Megan will move out. So that's all of our survivors. We'll stand everybody back up. I didn't tip Selly over, but she had gone. And then that will move into the zombie phase. Zombie phase. The tainted walkers move, and the fatty moves. So, yeah, we need to... Fortunately, we got another 2 damage weapon to take that out, but we need to spawn first. We'll start at the red space down here, the red spawn zone down here. Put that back in place, and then we find... Enter the Horde. Okay, then. So the spawn stops right here, but what we have in the Horde so far, we have 4 tainted walkers, a runner and a fatty. So, yeah, we just had the Horde come out onto the board. The one good thing about that is we don't spawn the green zone anymore to kind of help balance that out. So, whoops. Let's try that again. There we go. Okay, so, had a little bit of a distraction off camera there. But anyway, the noise tokens go away. And now Johannes will become our first player as we jump into another player phase. Johannes is going to search for action 1. So for action 1 he'll find an orc walker. Fantastic. So we'll grab an orc walker out for that space. Unfortunately, that was his search action for the turn, but I don't think it'll survive. Action 2, he'll try to melee it with his spiked bow. So we'll bring the dice tower back and shot. And once again, we'll zoom in here just a little bit. So we're working on Johannes up here. Once again, we need a 4+ on melee to be able to take that out. That's a 2, so we don't get to take that out, but action 3, we will run that back. That's another 2, so we end up wasting two actions trying to take that thing out and fail miserably. And Selly's first action will be... Selly's turn will be action 1, she'll move here. Action 2, she'll move here. Then action 3, we'll move here. The fatty will get to her this turn, but it won't be able to attack her. So we'll plan on taking that out next turn. Then for Megan, action 1... I don't want to shoot in there because if I miss, I'm going to hit one of them. So I think Megan for action 1 is going to step in. Action 2, she's going to cast the Telekinetic Blast at the orc walker that just spawned. And she'll take it out, giving her another experience. And then action 3, she'll search. Hopefully she'll have better luck than Johannes did. So she'll find a falchion. So 0, it's another melee weapon. Roll 3 dice, hit on a 4+, and do 1 damage. We'll let her equip that herself. And it's another door knocker, but of course we got an option to just open the door for free with no roll whatsoever. So anyway, that will do it for Megan. We'll tip her down. Then for Rolf, who's up last this round, action 1, he'll search as well. He'll find chainmail armor. So if he would get attacked, he can roll he rolls a die on a 4+, he negates the damage. We'll put that in his chest slot for now. Action 2, he'll move out here. And then action 3, he'll move towards Selly. Anyway, that will do it for the player phase. We'll be busy in the zombie phase. We'll go ahead and stand everyone up before we get into the zombie phase. Fatty moves to Selly, who will be first player next round, so that's fortunate. Tainted Walkers move. These spaces are already getting crowded. Then the runner moves too. Okay, now we spawn. We'll start off with the red spawn zone. Here we'll find our first Necromancer, and we put in a Walker, a Fatty, and a Runner into the Horde. And this is still the... Okay, so we'll put the Horde off. We'll put the Horde up here. Okay, so let me zoom out a little bit so you guys can. I did that some of that movement off camera, but basically we had the Horde down here. The Tainted Walkers that were up here moved over to here. The Runner that was part of the Horde moved here. Then the rest of the Horde moved up here, and the Fatty moved up to Selly, just so you can see what the zone is. So we need another Necromancer spawn zone, which I'll designate as a purple zone. So I'll put that one out. And then this is the Necromancer's minions. The Necromancer comes with an extra activation. Let me double check that. I don't know if... I think we just draw the first card. And if it's a... it comes with its own army. Put an additional zombie spawn token that immediately resolves a regular zombie spawn for it. Okay, so that's what we're resolving here. So it looks like we just have an extra activation for no one. So, okay. So it looks like that's what happens there. And I already put the Necromancer spawn zone on the board. What I haven't done is gotten the Necromancer token out, the Necromancer mini out yet. So that's this guy right here. So that's what the Necromancer looks like. He will be trying to escape through the green spawn zone, which is also where we're spawning next. So we aren't in yellow. We're still in blue, just barely. We find a Walker, and we put one into the Horde. Okay, here are the Walkers. Yeah. That's a Walker and one for the Horde. Anyway, that will do it for the... we didn't have any noise tokens on the board, shockingly enough, so that will do it for the Necromancer phase, for the... not the Necromancer, for the zombie phase and the end phase. Our first player will become Selly, and then we'll move into a new player phase. Alright, Selly down here is our first player with that Fatty down there. So we're going to use the Great Axe We roll 4 dice, we hit on a 5+, and we need 2 successes to take it out. So hopefully we can find something in here. We can. Unfortunately, that's only 1 experience for Selly, so that's not that great. And then action 2. Moving down here and jumping in would be suicidal. I think we go action. I think action 2. I think action 2 we let them come to us a little bit. So action 2 will move down here, and then I'll forfeit her 3rd action because I'll let them come to Selly. Selly's probably just going to settle down and do some serious killing on that space on her next turn. Then Megan, who's up here with Johannes, actually she's the red mini. We'll zoom in on Megan just a little bit here. There we go. Oop. There we go. Okay. Action 1, she'll search, and she'll find plenty of arrows, which I'll reorganize over to Johannes. So now, let's take a quick look at plenty of arrows. So plenty of arrows, you may reroll all ranged dice once with weapons with the arrows keyword. The new result takes the place of the previous one, and the spiked bow, I didn't mention it earlier because it wasn't relevant at the time, but the spiked bow that Johannes starts with actually does have the arrows keyword. So we will get a reroll on that. That was action 1 for Megan. Action 2, she'll step out, and then action 3, she'll move up with Rolf. Of course, Rolf won't be staying there for long, because he'll be moving action 1 down towards Selly. Actually, we'll have to zoom out here. So Rolf started on the space with Megan. Action 1, he's moving down here. Action 2, he'll move down. And then action 3, do I want him to take the great axe, or do I want to give Selly the curved dagger? No, I think he'll forfeit his 3rd action and just sit tight with Megan. Or not with Megan, with Selly. Then Johannes will tip Megan down as well. Johannes for action 1, he'll search. And he'll find another longbow. So this is actually an interesting weapon now. Because we have because the range on this is 1 to 3. He rolls 1 die, hits on a 3+, and does 1 damage. So he can't use this up close. I will still equip it, though, because it gives me another ranged option. The most important part of that, though, is it does have the arrows keyword, so I can roll that with plenty of arrows. Action 2, he'll move out. Action 3, he'll join Megan. And then that will do it for the player phase. I'll go ahead and stand everybody up, and then we'll move into the zombie phase. Alright, first up in the zombie phase. Wait a minute. Okay, runner ends up there. That walker ends up here. All this moves, those walkers move there. These guys go here. Necromancer moves here. These tainted walkers need to go pronto. Alright, but anyway, now we're into spawning. We'll start with the red zone first. We will find another Necromancer. So we add an orc, a walker, and another orc, walker, and a fatty to the... So orc... So, fatty, walker, and runner. Once again, that horde is going to be very devastating. But the Necromancer gets another activation. Then spawning at the Necromancer's spawn zone, which I'm representing in purple, we find 2 runners and another one for the Horde. That Horde is going to be nasty when it comes out. Because it's got 2 fatties. Right now it's got 2 fatties in it and a whole mess of runners. So there's 2 more runners for the board. And then another one for the Horde. And then spawning at the green zone out here, we find oh god, the Abomination's out now. Fantastic. So, here we go. So this is our first look at an Abomination. So these need 3 damage to kill them, and to make matters worse, in the targeting priority, they soak up. They basically soak up damage from everything else in the space, which is going to be a big problem. So we need to find Dragon Bile. We need to find the way to kill it, which is Dragon Bile and a torch pronto. But anyway, that will do it for the spawn phase. We didn't have any. Thankfully, though, the Abominations only do 1 damage. So. Wait, do they only do 1 damage? I'll have to look at that. But before we get into the next player phase, I will double check on that. So yeah, we'll be moving into another player phase shortly. Okay, small change of plans. So we're going to zoom in on the mess we've got brewing here. The plan had been to have Selly and or Rolf basically stand back to back and start killing everything in sight, but yeah, like I said, change of plans. We need to get out of there and find the way to kill that Abomination pronto. So let's actually zoom back out so we can get the dice tower in shot. Oop. There we are. All right, so first up, Selly's going to try to take out these 2 walkers in space. These are just regular walkers. Actually, one of them is a runner, I think. But anyway, we're rolling 4 dice, so 2 successes takes them both out. Which we get 3 successes, so we take both of those out and give her 2 more experience. Action 2, she's going to jump to Megan and Johannes. Action 3, she's going to move over to this room, and we're going to plan on searching in here to start ripping through the item deck. Next for Megan, she'll double back 1, 2, and search 3. Like I said, we need to get through that deck pronto. So Megan finds apples. Discard this card to gain 1 experience point. So she'll get an experience, but that's not going to help us right now with the giant Abomination down here breathing down our necks. Then Rolf is going to go full on Gitfo. So 1, 2, 3, and we'll help. We'll do it like that. So we'll give Selly a little bit of support as well. Then Johannes, his plan is very simple. He's going to go 1, 2 to Megan, and then he's going to search as well. So he will find another copy of apples, which he'll discard to get an experience point. Unfortunately, we still have the big problem of that Abomination. So I think we're probably going to have to go with the Necromancer for Lost. So that spawn zone will become active for the rest of the scenario, most likely. But let's go into the zombie phase. Okay, busy zombie phase. Abomination moves there. That space turns into the mess I knew it was going to be. All of that moves here. Runners end up here. So now we'll spawn. We'll start off with the red zone down here as usual. We will find a walker and another one for the Horde. The last thing I need right now is the Horde to come out. So spawning at the Necromancer's spawn zone. Another 2 walkers and 1 more for the Horde. With every zombie we add to the Horde, it just adds more and more to the problem. So we have 2 more walkers and another one for the Horde. Then spawning at the green zone over here, we have another walker and another one for the Horde. What is even in that Horde right now? That Horde is going to be horrendous. Let's see. So right now in the Horde, we have 2... Let's see. We have 2 fatties. Looks like... I think 3 walkers. We have 4 walkers and 4 runners. Yikes. So, yeah, I think we're probably starting to get to a point now where if I draw another Unleash the Horde, if I add much more to the Horde, another Unleash the Horde is just going to end the scenario on the spot. Because there is almost certainly no way I'm going to be able to get through that. But anyway, that will do it for this spawn phase. Megan is our first player, so we'll move into another player phase. Unfortunately, this scenario is going to start to get very boring because right now it's consisting of ripping through the item deck to try to find the stuff we need to kill the abomination, which is part of why I'm going to call it a mercy killing if we draw another Unleash the Horde with as nasty as that Horde is right now. Plus, we still have the abomination in there that's going to soak everything up. So, anyway, action 1. Megan will start with her aforementioned search. I'll give this a shuffle because I had 1 actually fall out that I was able to see. So just so you can see I'm not BSing you. I'll give the items a shuffle. I do have 1 face down. That will be Megan's search. Give that a cut. And this is believe it or not, this is actually the tutorial scenario. So this is supposed to be the scenario that you use to play the... This is supposed to be the scenario you use to learn the game. But let's see what Megan finds. She finds Death Gale. So this will help her do a little bit more damage, but we don't need damage right now. Alright, so I will move that into her hand and replace the Telekinetic Blast as it reorganized. Action 2. I kind of don't want to move right now while I need to search desperately for the stuff we need to kill that abomination. Ultimately, we're going to get trapped, I think. So yeah, Megan's just going to sit tight. Like I said, we need to search badly. So roll for action 1, he'll move in. Action 2, he'll search, and he will find a Dwarven Hammer, melee weapon, 2 dice, hits on a 4+, and does 2 damage. I'll actually equip that over the North Sword, since I'm not going to be happy to see the shield right now. So that's actually 3 dice because of the curved dagger. And similarly, that will be his third action. Selly will move in for 1. She'll search for 2. And she will find a heavy sword. Gain +1 die if another equipped card is a heavy dagger, which it is not. No noise. No, it's a melee weapon. Roll 2 dice. Hit on a 3+, but do 1 damage. Right. So that will be her turn. And then Johannes is probably going to be our best friend here because we're going to make use of his transmutation. So he'll draw for 1. He'll search for 1. Find a hornbow. Arrows. Choose the targets when performing ranged actions with this weapon. No noise, plus range of 1 to 2. Roll a die, 3+, and do 2 damage. The choosing a target is actually a very helpful thing to have, because there's normally a priority order. I'm going to equip this over top of the longbow. Then for action 2, I'm going to transmute the longbow and look for something else. We will find a plague mask. The survivor is immune to tainted blood spray. Now that's actually a mechanic that comes from the tainted abominations. That could prove to be a very relevant thing. So tainted blood spray. When a survivor kills a tainted abomination standing in their zone, they just get hit for 3 damage, and you can't roll with armor. So that's actually a very helpful thing to have. Then action 3, I think I'll give up the melee on the spiked bow. We'll transmute that as well. Just to see what else we can find. We get Gog. So we get a pet, actually. 3 zones per move. Low profile, search, slippery. Handler gets +1 die melee. Makes noise because it's a barking dog. Again, melee, roll 3 dice, hit on a 4+, and get 1 damage. So Johannes will get to equip that. And then we'll get the mini out for Gog. What color mini do I need? Probably a light... Actually, collared one is probably the one I want. There we are. So that is Johannes' new pet dog, pet ravenous dog. But anyway, let me look up some of the keywords on here just so I can figure out how they work. So let me look here. Familiars. Additional familiar skills. That's not what I want. Okay, 3 zones per move, which means normally familiars can move up to 2 spaces per move action, but he can move 3. Low profile. I wonder if it's in the main keyword. Here we go. Can't get hit by magic or ranged attacks, and get ignored when casting a combat spell or shooting into the zone. So game effects that are basically AoE effects, like your Dragon Fire, stuff like that, will still kill them. Search means they can take the search action. Slippery, I believe, means they can leave, does not spend extra actions when they move out of a zone containing zombies. Entering a zone with survivors still ends the action, so that's not surprising there. Okay, and then Johannes gets +1 melee die, which I may actually pass that over. I may actually pass Gog over to Megan. I haven't decided on that yet. Actually, as part of the reorganize, I am going to pass that over to Megan because she's got the falchion equipped. So the Gog is going to Megan instead of Johannes. Anyway, that will do it for the player phase. We'll stand everybody back up. And then we'll move into another very busy... There we are. Whoop, don't tip the door down. Then we'll move into another very busy zombie phase. Okay, this zone is going to continue to be a nightmare. These guys will move out. The runners will end up here. Everything's going to converge here. Yeah, these tiles need to be... I think these tiles need to be a lot bigger with SEMA, with these games. Especially a game like this where you end up with a mess of zombies on a space. And then these guys move up here as well. Yeah, these tiles are just not big enough for that many... They're not big enough for that many minis on them. But now we spawn, so we'll start off with the red zone. And we will find... The Necromancer gets another activation. So he's on the space he needs to be to get out, but... And then we put another walker, fatty, and runner into the Horde. Oh, joy. Yeah, as if we weren't clear enough, the scenario is over if I draw another Unleash the Horde. Because the reason I'm going to end it there is, well, there are two reasons I'm going to end it there. One, it's not going to be a very exciting video to watch me just searching through the item deck for what I need. And two, that's how much of the item deck I'm going to have to go through. And I'm going through it at a rate of 6 cards per turn. So that's not a fast rate. Anyway, we'll spawn at the Necromancer's spawn zone next. We'll find another walker and another one for the Horde. Anyway, the other reason I'm going to end the scenario on the next Horde spawn is because eventually I figure the Abomination, everything that we have on the board is just eventually going to run us down while we're trying to find the stuff to kill the Abomination. But plus, we already got the Necromancer on the verge of escaping the board. So, speaking of the Necromancer's escape, we'll look at the green zone next. We find the end of the scenario, because everything that we've been assembling for the Horde is going to come out on the space. So that will be 3 fatties, 5 runners, and 6 walkers. So yeah, that space, just to show you how ridiculous this is going to be, I'm going to go ahead and spawn everything out here. Or try to, anyway. Yeah, I'm already straining for space here. And I still have one more, besides what I've got in my hand, I've still got one more fatty to go. Yeah, this is ridiculous, and it's going to be the end of the scenario, because eventually what I figure is going to happen is some combination of these guys is just going to run everything down while we're busy looking for the stuff we need to kill the while we're looking for what we need to kill the Abomination. So I think we're just going to end the scenario, and we'll move back up top to wrap this video up. So I am going to call the scenario here a little bit early, because what happened is with that second Enter the Horde card, we had another big Horde come up. We're going to be spending a lot of time going through the item deck, which, as you saw, was still very thick, trying to find what we needed to kill the Abomination, because we certainly weren't going to kill that from range, and melee was going to get us killed right back. So, plus the Abomination does 3 damage on attack, so we were basically just going to be swinging at it willy-nilly, doing anything regardless. So, just out of curiosity, I want to see how long it would have took me to find, and it's a torch and a dragon bile, I need to kill it. So, would have found an axe, plenty of bolts, which wouldn't have helped, more chainmail armor, repeating crossbow, which would have needed bolts to re-roll, hand crossbow, another pet, lightning bolt, which also wouldn't have helped, another longbow, ghost sight, another pet. Yeah, we were a long way from getting anywhere near anything that would have helped the... Okay, there's a torch. Getting ambushed. Repulse. Yeah, we were This would have helped us, ultimately. Another equipped melee weapon gains +1. No, this wouldn't have helped, actually. That would have said plus damage, we would have been in business. But yeah, we were... As you can see, we were basically a long way from getting anything that would have helped us deal with that abomination. So, yeah, the second Horde is going to... The second Enter the Horde card came out and basically just kind of put paid to the scenario. But that will do it for this playthrough of Zombicide Green Horde. Next week, we'll start March by debuting a new game on the channel as we play Dune Imperium. Thank you for watching the video. Please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Be sure to turn on notifications so you get my content. Be well, stay safe, take care of yourselves and your loved ones, and I'll be back with more videos in the future. Until then, take care, everyone.